I've now welded a pipe onto the rear end of the receiver. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this pipe as the main support to hold the stock on. Now if you have a look at pictures of a real Browning automatic rifle, you'll notice they also have a pipe running through the back of the stock which has a spring in it for the mechanism. Now I've also drawn around the original stock on the real BAR to give me a template. Now what I'll probably do is I'll do a little bit more cutting of this, and then I will draw a couple of lines on each side of the pipe here, and then what I might do is draw around it onto some paper, onto some graph paper, and scan it into the computer for people who want to make their stock up. Got it approximately right there. What I'm going to do is, in the end of this stock, I might take the metal down a little bit further here, take a little bit more off, and then weld a bar inside it with a threaded hole in the end at this end here, so that I can put a butt plate on and put a screw down through the butt plate and into this stock. I'll also put some screws in the end wood as well of the stock, and it should work out hopefully okay. Now what I'm also intending to do is, from this point here where there's a little niche that actually has a steel plate fixed on it there. If you look at earlier video I did, you'll be able to see it. Now what I'm thinking of doing is putting a bolt from that little metal plate here straight into the side of this pipe here. So the bar that I put inside this tube will also have a threaded, well, a tapped hole in the side around about there. So the bar which I fit inside it, I'll weld it into the pipe. I'll cut some slots in a few points and then weld through those slots to join the inner bar to the outer pipe. Yeah, so it's coming together. I'm going to need to do a carve out the wood in both sides of this, carve a trench, you know, a gouge across the inside of the stock before I can bond the two halves of the stock together. So once I've carved the two sides out, I've then finished off by putting a 20mm drill down the hole. So hopefully one of my pipes will fit in there. I think the one I'm using actually a touch thinner than this. Yeah, with a little bit more work, that should slide down inside there. So once you've got enough wood out and it's well supported by the pipe, basically the next step is to bond the two sides of the wood together with a suitable wood glue and leave it probably clamped up for either overnight or for a few days even. You want to make sure that it's good and solid. It also might be worth putting a few dowels through the wood as well. Drill some holes in and glue, bond some dowels into it. That's what I did on the PPSH 41 stock. It seemed to work okay. If you wish, when you finish it, you could always put some wood screws through there, countersink them in, and then put some some glue and sawdust over the screw heads so you can't see them maybe, and then stain the whole thing in. That could work. You wouldn't see the screws holding the two sides together. Okay, while that's bonding, probably overnight, I've decided to start on the front hand grip. Now, I've sawn this out of a big chunk of pine that I had, which was about 10 centimeters square. You can see I've taken me a little while sawing that out. I wanted a piece which was a 6 by 6 by 20.5 centimeters, if I remember correctly. Now, what I've started doing, you can see here, is I've sawn the centre 2 centimeters, so that's leaving 2 centimeters on each side of the wood. The wood's going to have to be planed down, shaped a lot, but basically start off with 6 centimeters by 6. In fact, the height is slightly less than 6 centimeters, probably about 5.6, 5.7 centimeters in depth by the time you actually shape it down. But start off like that. Then I've measured 3 centimeters up from the base for where the bottom of the, well, what on mine it will be the battery holding pipe, but gas return pipe on the real one. So as you see, I've marked it out to be curved. Now I've only cut down the sides 2 centimeters and I've left the bottom 1 centimeter so that I can use a half round chisel to carve the last bit out. So I'll get on with that. As you can see, I've chiselled the wood out down the centre here, so I'm left with 2 centimeters of wood on either side of where the battery or gas pipe will be sitting. Now I've started marking out various bits of this wood. Now the depth of that isn't 6 centimeters. In fact, it's actually the depth of this isn't actually 6 centimeters, it's 5.5 centimeters. So I'm going to have to plane a bit of this wood off the bottom here, which won't be a big problem. Now the shaping I'm doing around here, basically if I lift that out of there, right, if we look at this, basically the wood here at this end, it's 1.5 centimeters from the bottom here, which should be, as I said, 5.5. So it's 1.5 centimeters up, and it's 2 centimeters in for this line here. And this end, it's 2 centimeters in, and it's a little bit less than 1.5 up, if I remember right. I'm trying to think. No, actually it is 1.5 up, exactly the same. So So basically you cut those two ends off like so. Then the other shapes, right, let's see, this end here, this is the end which is going to be next to the receiver of the gun. Right, so the magazine will be sat around this position here, yeah. Now here it's 7mm in from the sides, because it's slightly wider at this back end. 7mm. So 7mm, and that line there is 2cm in from the end of the wood, as is that one there, 2cm. You see, it should line up on the corners with the other cut. Yeah, so draw the diagonal lines across and saw them off. That line there should have been projected right across, but I'm going to cut right down through there now and do that on all 4 of those corners. Then I'll get my plane out and start shaping it a bit. Now the other thing is the sides of the wood on this grip. It'll be held like so, yeah, with your left hand on the front grip. Now basically it's slightly hollowed out on the real grip. I'll show you now on the gun, which is just behind me.